Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our each one session. This is a session which is planned and organized to share our knowledge, which is like we have learned new things. Then it's a good way to share with other people. So then, as we have known that knowledge shared equal to knowledge square. Sorry, I tried to write a two little bit down, but it went up. So I have written in a bracket. So knowledge square. So that so that going to the session, I am today, as for this session, I am going to share my knowledge on one of the topics which I have like worked on recently, and I'll be going to show you like what are the problems we faced and how we will be like using that. So that when you will be when you will be getting some work on that, you might refer to this, or you might get back to me, so that it will be easy to work on. So today's topic is content document and its related objects. After seeing this, you might think that it is a like file sharing content document related to this all. Yes, it is to that. But when you think about that, it's like files. When you think about a files, it's just simply like you will be thinking like it was uploading a file and using that in a record related list. It might be viewing as a simple, easy one, but what is happening in the back end underneath that, know about that, it will be a little bit trickier. So I'll be telling you like how it is working on behind the screen, how it will be like working, and how we will be using that through the Apex also. And if you think that this is for you, for developers, it's a definitely yes, because I'll be going to show you how it is through Apex also. But for the others, anyway, we will be using that through UI part also. So it's a good to have a knowledge on that. So how to use the files or documents. After seeing the session title and after seeing the topics here list, you'll be thinking that why the document is in between middle of the session. But when you come for an example, if I take when you uh, try to say about a person, first introduction will be about like you'll be asking where he stays or where he belongs to or what is his father name or something like related list. So when we want to know the here we when we want to know content document, first we need to know about the content workspace. Then we need to know about the content version and its child objects, so that. But the main part we are going to learn is content document itself. And obviously the questions comes into the mind is like why we are using that, what is about it actually, and how we will be going to use it. So these three things are the main content which I am going to show today. So first and foremost, let me show you let me tell about the introduction about the files first. So Salesforce, when it's like as a robust CRM software, it is like introducing on every release, it will be introducing a new technologies to use. So for after this, for this content files to store, it has introduced in winter 16, it has introduced the files object, one new object, and one for itself. It introduced a management system, content management system, and it is known as Salesforce Content Management System. And the main goal of the Salesforce Content Management System is to easily allow the users to share, manage, and store the data files in the system through the Salesforce environment. And it has introduced a new object called as files. And the people who are like using it from Salesforce from longer time, they might be used as like attachments. They can know that in the related list of a record, we can see that notes and attachments. So the attachments are like they're uploaded, are like viewed and shared. But little bit moving further, it has introduced a files object where we can share the files, we can collaborate with that, and we can give edit permissions also, view permissions also for the users, for the specific users. So to come where to find it out and how to find it out, I'll show you in the demo part. But for the introduction, after that, let me introduce. This is the content workspace. So when you want to learn about the files object is not like a single object or a single thing to learn immediately. It's like a pinned. It under it, it is pinned with a 3 to 4 objects, which are like related objects for it. They are like content or document, content document link, and content version also. So these three objects together will be framing the files object. So first, to learn about the content document, we need to store it somewhere. We have come to know that files object. But under files object, there are so many, in this objects itself. So content workspace is one of the object where we will be storing our content documents, which we are going to use or share with the peers. It's like a library. It's like a library here as it written, and it will be managing all the files whichever we are storing with the permissions, along with the permissions and the specific users also. And there are like 2000, only 2000 libraries can be created for the org. And the functionalities which we can be used on that are create, update, and delete. And as I mentioned it, permissions also can be enabled for specific users to access that library and use it. There are two types of library is content workspaces. There are regular library and org asset library. And we'll be using the we can mention them in that this workspace type is a field which we can this object. So where we can, it's a picklist field where we can give that R or B for that option. And the developer name is the unique name of the library. So for this workspace, the only unique name is developer name. And as I said, that the content document has its own related objects. Content workspace also having an inner related objects for it. They are content workspace document. It represents a link between the document and the public library, like what is the document, where it is, which workspace it is. And workspace member, it's like it represents a member of the Salesforce content library. And permissions, like there are specific permissions on the in the library itself, which we can share the users to the users, like particular library only can be viewed by the user, or particular library can be hidden from the user. So that comes under content workspace permission. And content workspace subscription is like it's for a user following a library, so that he'll come to know that whichever a document is uploaded there. Here comes the main object, that is content document. So as we have learned now, content workspace is one of the library where we can store the files. Exactly, the files are the content documents here. The content documents are that the files which we upload to the workspace or library, that is. And finally, it will be in the Salesforce CRM content itself. And Salesforce files, it is called as Salesforce files. And this object is labeled as a files object. So it will be separate object. You can view from the app launcher itself. You can click and view from the app launcher. And the number of documents that can be uploaded is here. I really can't make it. Is it 30 lakhs, I think. So maybe you can see this.
3 crores.
3 crores. 3 crores.
Sorry. I tried to read that, but yesterday I didn't. Different file types are like different file types which we can upload is like most of the file types are supported with this PNG, Excel, and even Google Docs also. And the photos like images can be of PNG, JPG, or all the types of the images can also be supported with this. So whatever the document which we uploaded is converted into base 64 format by the Salesforce itself, and it is stored in the Salesforce version, content version an object which we'll be learning in the next slide. So this, by converting, when it is converting into base 64, the size of the file is increased by 37%. So we have to keep in mind when we are uploading, and the maximum size of a file will be only like 50 MB. So when we are uploading a file, we have to keep in mind that after conversion, it will be 37% will be increased to that. So 50% MB, 50 MB. So when you upload more than some 50 MB file, it will be uploaded, but it can't be viewed on the screen itself. It has to be downloaded separately, and it has to be viewed in your laptop. And content document, for this to create a record in this object, you no need to create a document, you no need to create a record in this directly. You can create the content version document, and this is a child object of the content version document. So content version, when you create a content version record in the content version object, content document will automatically create it for that. Content version, this is the main parent object for the content document. Content version maintains all the versions of the document. Like whenever you are changing the content document version, it will be stored in a record will be created in the content version. And first and foremost, to create a content document, we have to create a record in the content version. When you create a content version record, directly the content, one more record is created in the content document itself, child object, which is a child object. It will be automatically created there with the linked content version ID for this. And if you create a record, if you upload some content document from UI side, 3 records will be created consecutively in content version, content document, and content document link. So these 3 will be automatically created when you are uploading a file from the UI side. But when you are uploading from the Apex side, you have to create it manually in the code itself. And the maximum number of versions for 24 hours per period is 2 lakhs. It's deleting this document is like content version. We can't delete from the UI side. We can delete a document, but we can't delete the content version directly from the UI side. We have to delete from the Apex code. And content document list. The next object is content document link. So this is the link between the content version, content document, and to where it is shared. Like the record can be shared, the document can be shared with users, records, or objects. So this content document link contains the information where this content document is shared. If you see here, linked entity ID is here it is a property where we will be giving the reference for the either user, object, or some record. So this will contain the links for the content document ID, and this is the content document ID is also reference. So you can see that this is a bridge between the content document and where the address it is has shared. Sorry. Next, coming to how part, till now we have seen we have learned it from UI side. We'll simply go to the files and we'll upload it, and the documents are getting created. But from when you want to create it from the back end, this is a code. First we need to create content version document. So content version is the document. Here we are creating a record for that. We need to give a title for it, and the path on the client is like name of this whether PDF or whatever it is. So with that, and the version data is like some important information you can give here. Origin is like C. This is also a pick list for the collaborative data or inferred data. And when you insert the content version, along with this, a content document is also get created. So you no need to create again like content document equal to new content document. It will be automatically created, and we can retrieve that. Here I try to retrieve it. Content document CD equal to select ID from content document. So I'm retrieving it with the latest publication version ID. And where can I get the content version ID is which I have created recently. So that version ID I'm giving, and I'm retrieving the content document ID itself. And this is the content document link. We can retrieve the content document link, or we can link it to some account object or opportunity object or some records. Here I have retrieved first. If you can see here, I have retrieved account where name equal to test. So I want to link this content document to this account where the name equal to test. So account record. So what I have done is content document link I am creating, new content document link, and content document ID is CD ID, which I have retrieved in the previous slide. And linked entity ID is the account ID, which I have fetched it. So I'm linking this now here. The linking happens where I'm linking this content document to the account ID. And the share type is also a pick list. Here the pick list will be like V, C, and I. V is for only viewing that document. So I'm giving only viewing permission for this document for the account user. And next, otherwise C, collaborator permission, so that he can view and edit also. And inferred permission, otherwise I. Inferred permission is like whatever the object permissions are there for the user, it will be inferred to the document also. And I'm inserting the CDL. So with this, I'm creating one document. I'm linking it to the one record in an object. So some tips and tricks here is like why this tips and tricks comes to use is like, it will be when you're viewing here content document, content version, content document link, and there are more inner objects in that. So it will be very confused for us to get how to get the exact field or ID where you want, what you want. So we can retrieve the content document ID by content version ID. If you have content version ID, we can get the content document ID. Or if you have content version ID, we can get the content document ID. And if you have like a linked, if you have document ID with you and you want to see where that object or which object it is linked to, we can get it through a linked entity ID, finding out. So, and one more thing is, don't mention linked entity ID while creating a document, because if you create a document and if you immediately want to link it to an object, you can do that. But if you create a document and leave it, wherever you can retrieve and store it, you can do that by when you are updating the new version for that. That creates a new version document that links to the object record. So these are some of the tips what we can use when you are working on the content document object. So let me show you some demo, like how to upload it from UI side and also from. Before first thing we need to do is general settings. We need to go to general settings and we need to enable a checkbox here. The files uploaded to the attachment related list on records are uploaded as Salesforce files, not as attachments. So when you click on this, whatever the files you have uploaded for records as attachments, or when you upload through the file object, it will be stored in the files object itself. And after this, permission sets. The second step we have to do is permission set. For any user, you can give a permission set. In that permission set, we have to go to access libraries. Let me try through users. I have already created one. Yeah, this is the permission set. If you can go to permission sets, permission sets are there. Sorry, I'll show you the thing sometime. Yeah, permission set I have set up for this. Yes, these are the system permissions. If you type libraries, these are the permissions which you need to enable if you want to use libraries, like access libraries here. Access libraries, access to view only licensed templates. These checkboxes you can check and give the permissions when you want to share. When you are not an admin, when you're giving the permissions for the user who is not an admin. You're giving the permission of the files to view or edit for a user. Then you have to enable this for that particular user so that he can also view the libraries files which you have shared for them. These two things as the first step we need to do. I'll show you from UI side how to upload a file. This is the object, files object. If you can see here, this is the libraries function, and we can create libraries here, and we can share only particular library for a particular user, like this manage members. We can give either to the groups or some only particular person. What is the access also? Here I have already created one, but set library. Okay, I have already created and uploaded one file here, content version. We can upload directly in library also. I can create a new library and upload it here. Test library is created. I can add files to it or create another folder and add files to it. So I'll be adding content version itself. This is one of the document, Word document, which I have uploaded now. And I can manage the members from here also for each library. If you create here, if you go and from backend and if we try to fetch this, we'll get already the three records will be created for the 3 consecutive objects there, content version and content document and content document link also. So we can fetch these details through the Apex code also. And this is from the UI side. And when I want to link it, create a document from Apex side and link it to the particular object or the record, I will show you through the Apex code here, which is already written. So I'll try to explain instead of writing here. If you can see here, I'm going to create a new version, content version, which is like I explained as in the slide. Location is S. S refers to the which is already the document is there in the document is going to be in the Salesforce itself, like Salesforce, or E means external files. And path on client is like this file name extension is very important here, which we will be having the file in the preview. Like doc text means it will be opening in dot text. Dot PDF means it will be opening for the user in the dot PDF. Title, version data is like I have given this because I have already have my files content here, so that I'm trying to retrieve that files contents and trying to encode it into the base 64 format in the version data and inserting the content version. After inserting the content version, already the content document will be created now. So get the content document ID. We need to get the content document ID through this content version ID, which I have created. I have retrieved it through here, giving content version ID, and I got the content document ID. And now I got the content document ID. I have to link it to the sum of the object here record. So content document link I have to create now, which I have created. And the linked entity ID is like this ID. This is the account ID, account object, one of the accounts object ID. This is a very bad practice of giving the account ID directly like this, but to show as a demo, I have written it. Otherwise, we can retrieve the account ID as I have done shown in the slide, and we can do that. Linked ID and content document ID is the document ID which I retrieved. So I have created link here, link for ID account and link for content document. I'm linking them, and the share type is only like viewed permission. And I'm creating content document link for this object. When you create like this, the content file will be created here. If you run this trigger, this is on account trigger. So when you create an account, new account, you can see that after insert. So whenever a record is created, the record new content document is created on the backend, and the document is linked for this ID, particular ID. Maybe I can show you, but if the time permits, but we can retrieve the data here, account of whatever received, and we can link it here. But I have, as I have linked already, so I can just show you. After doing this, I have inserted a test account for session this record. After inserting this record, this files one content version is already there, already created. This is a document which I created and uploaded. So this is linked already to the account, one of the account now. And when you want to share, like when there is this is one way of linking, like after creation you are creating a document and linking it. But when you want to link an document which is already there, for in your library, as I showed in your library, which is already there, when you want to fetch that and link it to I am trying to link it to every opportunity based on some condition. So we can do that by getting content document IDs, and for that content document IDs, I am taking the title, and for that I am querying for the accounts first. Whatever accounts are there, whatever accounts, first get the content document ID for the content version. Next, create a content. Simply what I'm doing here is I'm getting the content document ID, I'm getting the account ID, and I'm linking both of them whenever an opportunity is created. I'll show you that also. For test account itself, actually. Yes, whenever you are creating an opportunity, the same thing. Sorry, I misleaded you. The same thing. Whenever you are creating an opportunity, what I'm trying to do is whenever an opportunity is created and a file is linked to the account itself, the account which is mentioned for that opportunity, which is linked for that opportunity. So the same thing happens here. Whenever an opportunity is created, the file will be created and the file will be linked for this account here. So when you want to upload a file from backend or link a file from backend, this is the procedure which we need to follow it so that it will be linked. Here are some links which is like explaining from basics. These links are explaining from basics to the coding level of the this file uploading and linking. I found these links as very useful, so I mentioned it here. You can go through. Yeah, for today this is a session, and if you have some doubts, please.
Is this specific for any specific industry on which Salesforce is used, where this content document can be used, or can it be done for any industry?
Industry in the sense, can you please elaborate?
In terms of, like, for example, we get projects, right? Is it specific to any specific project that deals with?
No, whenever you want to upload or work on the files, you can use this files object.
Okay.
Raji mentioned there are two type of libraries. One is one slide you have mentioned it, RB. So is there any difference?
I didn't dig into that completely. I have just gone through that. Org asset library is like managing the files through org wide. It has 10, and regular files will be stored in the library which I have showed in the files object. But org asset library, when you create a file, it won't be stored under the library. It will be stored in the other files. I'll show you here. Regular library, if you create, the files will be here in under the library, and if you other files you create org asset wide, it will be owned by me. I have seen this is the main difference. I didn't dig into that completely. Maybe I'll find it out and I'll let you know.
So you mean to say the differentiation is that there will be public access when the files are under libraries, everybody can see it, and the ones that goes under org asset, they will be owned by yourself or the specific user who's created it. Is that the difference?
Exactly, I can't say that, but owned by me is like for the user itself, and libraries is like whoever can access. Users also, we can give permissions for them to access it.
Okay.
Did you guys get the gist, the overall? Obviously, you can't remember the object names. There are a bunch of them, and you can't remember the syntax which she showed. But if I were listening it for the first time, maybe the takeaway I would look at is understanding that, okay, when you upload a file, whether it's the front end or the back end, this is what happens. These are the bunch of objects, and this is how they behave in Salesforce, right? Because a lot of us may not have worked on or gotten a chance to look at that perspective. Okay, you upload a file, it shows under attachments or files, but okay, if you have to automate any of that, if you have to play with that, if you have to do it from using API or Apex, this is you getting exposed to those objects, those syntaxes. Obviously, you can't remember, but the idea is as long as you remember, okay, there's something called as content document, something called as content version, something called as content document link. Primarily, those are the three objects that she talked about, right? And then you play with a bunch of security, name options, field options, which you will anyways have to do within your project, or if you're trying to explore further, right? So as long as you're able to understand that and take away that, I think the session would meet its purpose, right? I know Raji showed a lot of things, but primarily if you're able to understand these three entities and so Srini, to your question as well, it's not industry specific. Why? Because uploading files is a generic concept across any cloud, unless we are specifically talking about marketing cloud. Let's not talk about the exceptional or different cloud platforms, but in general, you talk about sales, service, experience cloud, financial services, health cloud, field services. No, you talk about anything on Salesforce platform, you talk about files, file system, or this attachment part, it comes into picture and it remains the same from a technical front, right? So that is what I would say is the biggest takeaway that you have to look at. Naresh has put some recommended object links as well, content distribution. So yes, all of that is the biggest takeaway. And on that, I'll add one more thing, not technical, but for everybody to understand. You can also link this. I'll not maybe tell you how it is done, but it's a nice thing to explore further from a community or experience cloud perspective, because we have done projects where you will have needs of saying, okay, so Raji spoke about permissions, etc., right? Or she also spoke about workspaces. I know you can't remember everything, but I'm just giving a small tip here that go and explore how files can, because files can be played around from communities and the internal platform. Because by default, what you upload in community remains in community, what you upload internally remains internal. But if you have to play between this, which has happened in the past for some of our clients, and it happens generally as well, for people who are more interested, or as an extension of this, you can look at that. It's a very small thing. You just have to understand which fields. So again, end of the day, the objects remain same, even if it's an experience cloud. But the workspace will change. The permissions might change. And anything you want to do, not just experience cloud, it will always come down to you looking at those objects, the data types, or what the kind of columns, fields that an object has got, and figuring out what you need to provide as values for the file to behave in a manner that you expect it to behave, right? So yeah, that's something which is not covered. We don't have to cover that. Those are a few points that I'd like to add on this. Any other questions from anybody?
Yeah, while thinking about that, just had one more doubt. So while doing these data loads, we do get discussions in the SDT document, which talks about when we're transferring data, transfer all the child object attachments and all. Do those things come under content files?
Anything you attach, anything which comes as a file goes into this object.
Okay.
I have shown the permission, right, Srini? First,
Yeah.
when you click on the checkbox, whatever you are storing that in attachments will come into the files here.
Awesome. Okay.
And one more thing, what we have faced is one problem, like when once I created a library and I just didn't know that permission sets and all for the users also. So we transferred the code for the production, and when the user is trying to use, one of the specific user for that is trying to use, he is not able to view the file at all, and the error generates there. So for that, the solution we found is we need to give the access, as I mentioned here, we need to give the access for the particular library also for that user whom you want to use that and view that files.
Do we have that option while creating user? Do we see a permission to be given there? Or
Users,
we have to come here?
I didn't go through the users. While creating a library, we can give here.
Okay.
Manage members. Shall I start?
Yeah, we can start.
Yeah.
Start the fingers first, so Santosh should be ready.
I remember last time you were Kahoot, Raji. It was very tricky. I hope it is not like that.
Question has come on this.
Content document is created when a record is created in content document object. What?
True or false?
False. I don't know. I don't know.
False.
Raji, you're testing our English. This is
No, it's not testing. When content document record is created there, when the content document object is
Yeah, we'll give this to God. Okay.
no, but wait. Tell me. No, explain this.
I told you that content document, there is no need to create a record separately in content document. When you create a content version, it creates there automatically, right?
Yeah,
that's from the
but
UI.
you're saying,
Yeah, from backend also, content version will create and content document will be automatically created.
okay, let's do it this way. Who all got it as true?
7 members got false.
Obviously, I know that in that 4 people true, I am one of them. Who are the other 3 people?
I'm also true.
Who?
Who is the other 3?
Me and
Akansha,
Chandra,
Roshan, and
Sushma as well. Okay. So here, okay, more from an understanding perspective, I'll ask you this, Raji. So I don't know how others got this. I'm asking, so this is more for understanding. When you say record is created in content document object,
Yes.
you're saying content document is created when a record is created in content. Obviously, a content document object record is created, right? Only then the content document. I mean, I don't know what do you mean by content document? A record is created, an object is created. Wait, I'll ask the best person in the room. Wait, hold on. Prashant, I'll ask Prashant to explain this.
Why you are choosing the wrong person to
She, come on. It's your time
Come
to.
on, Banji.
Because he got this right. Read the question. You're saying content document is created when a record is created in content document object. Yeah, I mean,
Obviously, yes.
English exam.
True.
it's English exam, right, Prashant?
Ark is Park, Park is Ark.
trying to do something. Actually, when you upload a file, when you create a record in content version object, this content document object record will be created.
Correct. So, okay. Chandra is also raising his hand. Yeah, Chandra, what do you want to say?
No, I raised it a while ago.
Here I have no need to create a document directly. And
You
even
didn't say
from,
direct, indirect. You said it is created or not. I said, yeah, created.
even from the code side, I have told you
Even
that
from the code, it is created. No matter what, it is created. Anyways, it's okay.
And it's an English exam.
It is definitely an English exam, which is it is not clearly communicating the
Content document
point.
is
But
created when
anyways,
the record is
at
created.
least now it's clear. So what she wants to say is, when you create a content version record, that will automatically create a content document record,
yes,
or
that is
rather a record in content document object. That's what she means to ask. But yeah,
when you create that, it will be created, and when you delete the content document, content versions will be deleted. All the versions will be deleted. This is the main
From code, right?
from code. Yeah.
see,
You
that
said
is
it's
not
not
mentioning.
possible through UI.
It's like
But anyways,
like reverse. Yeah, content
Okay, we'll
version.
go. Better we'll go for the second question.
Remember
let's
my lines. What I said now. Remember that. Okay.
They'll remember
me and
the
Chandra
question,
are tired
not the
of
answer.
12th. I don't know, Sushma. Where is Sushma? Sriram, scam.
I'm in 10th.
Even Sushma is tied with
Whenever
me.
I give session, I can see that Sriram will be on top.
I'll tell you why.
Straightforward.
If he still remains on
He's
top, then
as-
I'll tell you. Wait, let's look
He's
at
as
it. Yeah.
confused.
But definitely English exam, that too bad English exam.
True or
Only
false?
Remember my sentence.
Hey.
Version also get deleted. Now from UI or from backend?
From back end. Remember the sentence which I said just now.
But that is not
Ultimate.
mentioned in the question, right?
Hey,
Yeah,
see,
wrong
all
question
got
then.
correct. Only one didn't get the correct answer. So how can you say that nobody understood?
Because it's not mentioned
I
in
got it
UI
wrong
or
because it's wrong.
Who is the one?
Prashant.
I can't say.
Who is the one?
I can't say anything.
She, you? Because of Raj's English.
Sushma said it's me.
Oh, Sushma again, is it?
No, I said me for the first question.
Hey, come on, Rupesh.
Maybe network lag.
Third question.
భయమేస్తుంది నాకైతే. What is the limit of library that we are creating with org? What is the answer?
2000.
Okay.
No, I don't think it's
Same
2000.
problem. I think it's 20.
No, I told and mentioned in the slides also 2000 per org.
Come on, Raju.
Yeah.
2 questions wrong and third question is right. Come on.
I made
So
it wrong.
I got it correct. So come on.
But at least this question is clear.
Rupesh, he got two answers correct.
He is going
Oh.
to he's answering.
I was at the top.
You're
on,
in the top 3. Come on, Naresh.
Yeah, but
Shall I go to the
As you multi select double points. No.
Come, it will come.
I can tell you, Raj, in the next 9 questions, half of them will be true or false.
Just to make sure his question is right.
No, but your expectation is wrong. I kept only two points.
Net
I'll be
lag.
happy if it is wrong. See, Prashant got a
I'm such.
I can't see you at all. I cannot see you.
Prashant walked out.
We have network lag.
Bye bye.
We have network lag here.
So next, can I
No,
go
I
to
can hear her. Yeah, go ahead. Next question.
Look here, Macha.
Double points.
Double point.
Once, yeah.
document object in Salesforce is labeled as.
Bah.
Really typical question.
Wrong. But
Wrong with it.
Files and చూపించారు కదా.
one supporting me? He's I can't see it.
The attachment guy is me itself.
So what do you mean by document object, Rajiv? Is that the API name? Is that what you mean to say?
UI side, it is labeled as files.
No, UI is files, but when you say document object,
Gone. We are gone. Are you there in the podium?
are you saying document is the API name of the object?
You
When
are on third.
You in the
you
podium?
show it like labeled as
I'm behind you.
on here, like it
It's
is
coming like that.
I told also that content
Behind
of
Prashant.
all three
Hey,
objects.
you unprofessional Kahoot players, wait. Yes. No,
All-
I'm just trying to understand the questions. What do you mean by document object? Because
The document object is like document content
then you
of
should say content document object, right? How can you say document?
these three, all the these three can be called as document.
Yeah. Okay, next question.
Narendra in the top 5.
Roshan.
Can I go to the next question?
Yeah, click on next.
Proceed. There's nothing to look at this board.
Maximum file size that can be uploaded.
Yeah.
50 MB.
50 MB.
50 MB.
Give out the answers.
Yeah, why you
I marked it as 5 MB. After that, I searched 50 MB. Who is that 5 MB guys? One is me. 5 MB.
ఎవరో 5 MB అన్నారు నేను కొట్టేసి.
No, it's 50 MB. I corrected it.
50 MB is the first answer which I heard.
No, by then I already.
అత్యుత్సాహం చూపించాను.
ఏ నవీన్ ఎలా వస్తున్నాడు ఫస్ట్ ఇంకా టాప్ లోనే ఉన్నాడు నవీన్.
Rupesh dollar is working. Can I go to next question?
Yeah, please.
From Google Slides.
Which object represents the link between content document and where it is shared?
Sir, answers రాలేదు సార్.
It's very the question itself is saying that half of it.
Yeah, link is
Yes.
there.
Link is a different.
Document link.
Where is it shared is different, right?
No, I told you, right? Where
Content document.
link, what represents a link, which object? Link.
No, we
content
also got the link. I also got it right, but
Sir, I came to 11th question.
document works is
so, okay, we are midway 6 out of 12. Let's hear from Santosh. Santosh, how many did you get right? He doesn't know.
Where is he?
Very cheap, is it?
Wealth.
12th position. Okay.
Some I haven't answered.
so
Oh, you
now
never answered. Okay.
all the session questions are over now. Now it will be like general and all.
Okay.
ఓకే ఓకే
Should not be
ఓకే
copy paste
From now on, it's your luck.
Okay.
Ready, get
From
ready.
now on, it's pure luck.
It should not be copy paste from old Kahoot.
No.
Multi select.
First question is 11th.
available for developers in Salesforce.
Are yaar.
Naresh, it's very
Health
strict.
check.
Again, ambiguous question.
Wow.
Hey, there is
Hello.
certification on business analyst also.
Hello.
Still
Education.
ninth place, though it's a double pointer. Che.
Oh, developer. Okay.
Patient cloud is for consultant.
ఏ ఈయన 10th ప్లేస్కి వెళ్ళిపోయా నేను.
Thankfully, మీరు
Narendra.
లేదు డెవలపర్స్ అని చుక్క గమనించలేదు.
అదే మరి అక్కడే ఉంటది బెస్ట్. Rupesh,
Still, and Sriram is here.
happy Friday, Rupesh.
Rupesh is having a happy Friday.
Can I go to next question?
What's that 12th question? Santosh, me and you are. I'm behind Santosh.
What are the benefits of blogging?
I don't
Blogging.
know.
Printing photos, gaining knowledge, reach to a wider audience, both B and C.
Both B and C.
Question.
What is B and C here?
Gaining
Repeat the
knowledge.
second A, B, C, D, Roshan. Printing photos is A. Gaining knowledge is B.
No, she said in that way A, B, C, and
I said both A and B and C, right? Yeah. Question circle లేదంటే ఆన్సర్ ఏమనుకుంటుంది
Prashant, Prashant, stop.
Hey, what is this?
Three in a row, Roshan is back in the game. Okay, Rupesh is still there. Sriram came down, Srini went up. Wow. Can I go to next question?
Can't guess
Prashant,
anything.
you stop playing, is it?
You are false.
You are finished.
There's a 2022
Finished or not?
Salesforce days. Every days, right? We're talking about.
Days actually.
Gone. ఎందుకంటే అంత టైం ఇచ్చారు గాన్
Till August 31st.
రూపాయలు పెట్టే అంత టైం
మన ఇద్దరు అనుకుంటా తప్పెట్టింది.
క్వశ్చన్స్ ఎలా ఉన్నాయి మరి
Naveen has left.
Rupesh, come on, 9 answers, 9 highest stray, come on. 9 out of
ఉన్నావా
9. Wow. Next
10th
question.
place.
లాస్ట్ 3 క్వశ్చన్స్ విల్ చేంజ్ యువర్
క్వశ్చన్స్ అన్ని స్లైడ్స్ లో ఉన్నాయి బట్ 9 రావాలి.
Yeah, that's what I said, now straightforward questions. Can I go to next question?
I guess modify చేస్తాను. Okay, next question.
When I going to come to Hyderabad?
ఎవరికి తెలుసండి ఎవరికి తెలుసు మీరు మరి నేను
Two don't know.
Between options.
There are two don't know.
Please keep the first one.
don't know.
Can I go to next question?
Yes, please.
Yes.
No.
Why?
No.
Which is the optimal way of making a pick list field mandatory while creating and updating a record?
ఆన్సర్ ఉంటుంది మచ్చా చిన్న ఆన్సర్ ఉంటుంది
Making required on the layout,
Enough
making
table.
required while creating a field,
Table, macha.
creating what type to make
క్వశ్చన్ ఉంది కదా రెడ్ నన్ ఆఫ్ ది అబో రాజీ నన్ ఆఫ్ ది అబో కదా
Prashant's favorite color.
Blue.
గ్రీన్ మచ్చా గ్రీన్ మచ్చా గ్రీన్ చెప్పు
Shall I explain? Should I explain or is it okay?
please next question we close this cover
Let's end it.
Sriram.
last time only 2 hours false
Double points.
Multi select. Double points.
Naveen congratulations Naveen congratulations
Without using Apex method.
Naveen congratulations
Double points, two multi-select.
అన్ని పెట్టేస్తాం Naveen congrats
Naveen is not there at all in podium, no?
I was on fifth position.
Got.
Naveen behind me
I'm also.
Select like
I'm dropping
I'm
off
in
now.
I'm second position now
I got third place.
Okay, I'm dropping off everyone. Bye bye.
guys.
I'm at second position
Sriram, come on.
12 ante
Oh boy, Rupu.
What is the one question you missed? Is it that I don't know?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.